Please make a warm welcome for the CEO of Destination New South Wales and the Executive Producer of Vivid Sydney.
Firstly, I'd like to commence by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we stand, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and pay my respects to elders past and present. I'd also like to acknowledge New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian, New South Wales Minister for Tourism and Major Events Adam Marshall, our host today, Director of the Museum Contemporary Art Australia Liz-Anne McGregor, our Vivid Sydney Creative Director Ignatius Jones, and our Vivid Sydney curators for Light, Anthony Bassick, for Vivid Music, Stephen Ferris, Vivid Ideas, Tori Loudon, and of course our curator of Vivid Live, Ben Marshall. To all of our Vivid partners and sponsors and venues, members of the creative services industry, ladies and gentlemen of the press, welcome to the Vivid Sydney 2018 program launch. Destination New South Wales is the state government's tourism and major events agency, and we own, manage and produce Vivid Sydney, but it is delivered through a unique public and private sector partnership, and I'm delighted so many of those partners could be with us here today. Now, across Australia and across the world, we work with media and travel trade partners to target potential visitors to Vivid Sydney and of course to New South Wales. Here are just a few examples of some of those campaigns. In China, in the USA, Japan, Singapore and New Zealand. Plus we are also incorporating Vivid into international television campaigns and digital campaigns, such as the one we launched with using the Sydney to Me song by Sony artists Jess and Matt. These are the first times Australians have released a song in Mandarin in China. China Southern Airlines loved it, and so let's just run this and give you a taste of the new China Southern ad for New South Wales. So broadening Vivid Sydney's appeal through social media and generating website traffic gives us new ways to tell the world not only about Vivid Sydney, but to tell them about rural and regional New South Wales and why people should come here and experience it all firsthand. As the slide shows, the global social media audience for Vivid Sydney is massive. 53 million people reached via the Vivid Sydney Facebook page alone. This year, we've updated our Vivid Sydney website and the Vivid Sydney app to make it even easier to find your way around and to make the most of the Vivid Sydney experience. And now, to officially launch this year's incredible Vivid Sydney program, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the Premier of New South Wales, Gladys Berejiklian.
Sandra, for that very warm welcome, and can I congratulate and thank you for all you do for Destination New South Wales. Today is one of the highlights of the year for Destination New South Wales, and I'm thrilled to be here. Can I start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we stand and pay my respects to elders past and present. Can I acknowledge my ministerial colleague Adam Marshall, who has one of the best jobs in government, including being the Minister for Tourism and Major Events, and I know that this festival is especially one of his highlights. Can I also welcome Ignatius Jones, Vivid Sydney Creative Director, and say how excited we are about what you'll be creating for us, which we'll be able to see in the next, within the next few weeks. So congratulations again and thank you for your involvement. But can I take this opportunity to thank all the Vivid creators who work alongside Ignatius to make this possible. But I cannot believe that it's already been 10 years since Vivid first started, and it started out as a modest festival of around 225,000 attendees. Last year, 2.3 million attendees contributed $143 million to the New South Wales economy. Now, which Premier wouldn't want that? 2.3 million attendees, which is amazing, absolutely amazing. Vivid Sydney is now technically the largest event in Australia, and it's not only an opportunity to showcase Sydney, but as Sandra outlined, it's a huge opportunity for us to showcase the entire state, encourage people to stay longer when they're here for the festival. And every year, more and more people are travelling to see the festival, whether it's from within New South Wales, from other states in Australia, and of course, from overseas. Since the festival began, when it attracted just 8,000 overnight visitors, Vivid Sydney has experienced unprecedented growth. Last year alone, Vivid Sydney lured nearly 250,000 people from overseas and interstate to travel here specifically to experience the festival. That is amazing. In 2011, the overnight spend from Vivid Sydney visitors was only $6 million, and as I said last year, that reached $143. But we know it's not just the boost to the economy, it is a wonderful experience for everybody who attends the festival, for locals, for visitors and guests alike. All of us feel so proud about what it means for our great city and our state, and for us to observe the creative experience, the creative liberation that the artists have in presenting us their work is so inspiring. And I know Lizanne McGregor as the head of the MCA appreciates that as well. I'm really excited to announce that Customs House is back this year to celebrate. There'll be a uniquely Australian and charming installation that commemorates the centenary of Snugglepot and Cuddlepie. All of us grew up with Snugglepot and Cuddlepie. The much-loved creations of May Gibbs. May Gibbs' original inspiration was Sydney in the Blue Mountains bushland, so we're very proud to celebrate 100 years of her iconic characters in this installation of the Gumnut Brothers. Of course, during Vivid Sydney, all eyes turn to the Sydney Opera House for the lighting of the sails, and I'm delighted to announce that this year the Sydney Opera House will be transformed into a series of kinetic digital sculptures designed by Australian artist Jonathan Zawada. You will hear much more about the 2018 festival highlights later this morning. However, can I say how proud I am of everybody involved in Vivid Sydney, and I'm so excited by what the festival means for all of us, and I'm looking forward to seeing our city and our state come alive during this fantastic period. Thank you very much.
My name is Jonathan Zawada. I'm an artist and graphic designer, and I live on the north coast of New South Wales. When I was asked to be the director of lighting the sails in the Sydney Opera House, I was super excited. It's sort of a project that I've always secretly wanted to do, and the thought of doing something at that scale and for such a huge audience was really exciting. Nature's always been a huge inspiration for me, but in particular Australian nature, which is so incredibly unique and strange in many ways. I think the forms of the plants and the animals and everything here is so odd. They become these shapes and colours and textures that I could never dream of on my own. So my creative process in coming up with the lighting of the sails for 2018 was really thinking about the form of the opera house and use that as a shell to construct my compositions within, so that rather than thinking about it as a flat plane, it became this three-dimensional form which I filled. For the lighting of this year's sails, I think we can expect all sorts of different materials and colours and textures, things like feathers and rocks and human figures, all pushed to a kind of hyper-realistic and almost surreal saturation of colour and pattern and texture. As the lighting of the sails is seen around the world, I hope that people take away a vision of the unique nature of Australia and of Australian people and the creative energy here.
With us here today, Jonathan, your designs are truly mesmerising. And now, with more special Vivid Sydney announcements, please welcome to the stage the Minister for Tourism and Major Events, Adam Marshall.
Thank you very much, Sandra. I too would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we stand today and pay my respects to elders past and present. and also acknowledge our Premier Gladys Berejiklian, and thank you very much, Premier, for joining with us again this year to launch Vivid, our 10th anniversary and what promises to be our biggest and best yet. So thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, those of you that have been involved in Vivid for quite some time, Vivid Sydney is magnificent, transforming our city into a colourful canvas of light, music and ideas. And 10 years of successfully invigorating Sydney's winter period and also, as the Premier said, the New South Wales economy. What was traditionally a very quiet period for the city's tourism industry is now a thriving period that is absolutely the envy of every other state and every other city, not just in Australia, but right around the world. And while other cities around the world and in Australia have tried to copy Vivid, they've tried similar approaches, they simply cannot. They cannot do it. Sydney has the natural beauty and the energy that truly comes to life during Vivid Sydney. From its humble beginnings, as the Premier said, it has grown now to Australia's largest event, and with over 2.3 million visitors last year, it is absolutely extraordinary, breathtaking. While the night lights bring the people in from overseas and interstate, it's our regional attractions by day that draw them out. And many Vivid Sydney visitors are actually now exploring beyond the fringes of Sydney out to our rural and regional areas. Last year, 38,000 Vivid visitors travelled into regional New South Wales, staying more than 94,000 nights and injecting around $16 million into the economies of rural and regional areas. More than 135,000 Vivid Sydney travel packages were sold, with international travel packages, and this is very exciting from my perspective, up 57% on the previous year. Domestic packages were also up over 62%, and our strongest inbound market continues to be China, with more than 23,000 Chinese visitors arriving and enjoying Vivid Sydney last year. Each year at Vivid, we always try and add something new, and in our 10th anniversary, this is no different. We either do that through installations or new technology, Guinness World Record attempts, or new areas of Sydney to explore. This year, I'm very happy to announce that in our 10th anniversary, another key Sydney icon on the harbour will be part of Vivid in 2018. Luna Park will be added, and it will be one of our precincts this year, lighting up the Ferris wheel and the big grin at the front. It will put a smile on everyone's face, not just at Luna Park. Creativity and innovation is at the core of what Vivid Sydney is all about, and I'm very pleased as the Minister, who's also responsible for TAFE New South Wales, to announce that TAFE students will again be heavily involved in Vivid this year. They'll have an incredible opportunity to display their work and get great experience as part of this year's festival. The Design Centre and more students will create a core structure for a piece called Lighthouse. Then students at a number of other campuses across rural and regional New South Wales will add their own designs to cover those structures, which will stand proudly in the Royal Botanic Gardens right here in Sydney. In another first, the official residence of our Governor, David Hurley, and Mrs Hurley at Government House will also feature a light projection. TAFE students studying 3D animation will be designing the work that will be displayed across this beautiful and iconic sandstone building. TAFE New South Wales continues to provide excellent opportunities for our students to gain valuable work experience for their future careers and contribute to reinforcing this state as the creative services hub of the Asia Pacific. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's festival will once again bring together the world's leading creative minds and promises to delight audiences again with a stellar program of light, music and ideas. Thank you very much. Happy 10th birthday, Vivid, and as I said, it'll be our biggest and best one yet.
Minister, now Ignatius Jones is truly a national treasure. We are so fortunate to have his talent as the Creative Director of Vivid Sydney. Iggy is back on deck after a recent illness, so today, to preserve his voice and his energy for all those interviews that'll happen later today, we will run his video introduction to Vivid Sydney this year. So take it away, Iggy.
It's hard to believe that just 10 years ago, Vivid Sydney was vaguely a twinkle in the eye. Who knows what we will achieve this year as we look at the magic that can be created when art meets technology. At Vivid Sydney, we create tomorrow, today. Sydney's hottest new waterfront dining precinct, Berejiklian, will be blessed by a giant illuminated creature that inhabits Wollongong Walk. This will be a truly transformational experience. On Cockle Bay, a fantastic ocean seascape will be created, featuring bioluminescent creatures, water features that come to life as jellyfish, and fountains that emulate corals and deep-sea flora. The projection on the rooftop of the Australian National Maritime Museum will feature BBC Earth and Sir David Attenborough's Blue Planet 2, and take us into another fascinating world between the waves. We continue Taronga Zoo's unique battle to save some of the world's most endangered species, alongside even more new and exciting light installations that will help us all to help Taronga be the light for the wild. At the Chatswood Light Market, you can choose from an array of international cuisines. At the Concourse, Futurescape will take you on a 360-degree journey into space with real footage from NASA's Voyager 1 space probe. In addition to light, Vivid Ideas arrives in Chatswood this year with Tech Shift Exponential, a day of discussion exploring technology for better lives. Vivid Sydney is on every night from the 25th of May to the 16th of June, shining its magic upon all who behold it. We hope to see you there.
So thank you, Ignatius. You've done a fantastic job this year. In the interest of time, we will now run the videos for each of the curators where they are discussing their program highlights for Vivid Light, Vivid Music, Vivid Live and Vivid Ideas. So please, let's run the videos.
Ready? Look up. That's perfect. Yeah. Lovely. You must be hungry.
So with
Put the knife down.
look your right this way, please. Let's do one more. We get everybody to Thank you so much. And look your right this way, please.
Not quite as precise. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lovely.